Hey everyone! So this is Alice, and today I will be responding to the PSA to Men by Tomi Lahren. So, as someone who's kind of noticed this whole gender war, political war that's been going on the internet between like these crazy radical SJWs and these like ultra Christian conservatives, it's pretty funny to see someone from this camp in the ultra conservative Christian side sound a lot like these people on the other side, these crazy radical SJWs, because she was like, men are trash. And it's pretty funny because she sounded pretty angry and stuff too. And to be fair to her, like a lot of the criticisms that she had were perfectly valid. She wanted normal standards of good behavior from men that you would expect from, a fully functional, developed adult. So the standards seemed pretty good, but actually her delivery of the video, she was very not chill basically, and she came across as kind of high maintenance and angry and maybe possibly hurt by someone. um and I don't think that she realizes her own position as a kind of powerful, successful, attractive woman, how intimidating that is for a lot of men. So she, in some ways, it's going to be very hard for her to meet someone. um and she's going to have to try and kind of catch a guy who's even higher on the success ladder than she is, because for men, like, that's important for their insecurity levels, that they meet someone that is more attractive and less successful and wealthy. And basically what I this is a crazy theory of mine. I'm not sure if it's true. I feel like men feel the need to compensate for the fact that they have a grosser body, like they have like this gross hairy ballsack. So that's like how I feel. It's like, so they feel the need to be more intelligent and successful and all that stuff. But the other side that's kind of more rational, I guess, and it's probably something that a lot of Christian conservatives would say, is that because women are the ones that are going to be giving birth, and maybe you don't care about that shit, so that's irrelevant to you, but if you're one of these women like Tomi Lahren, you probably want to have a family at some stage, and men are going to want to be the providers and protectors because you are left vulnerable for a very long time while you have that kid. And even while you're like taking care of that kid when they're a lot younger, you're going to want to need to have that protector and provider. So men have to kind of fulfill that role. So part of their self-esteem is to be able to be of like a higher standard of the woman, so that they're able to protect that woman. So I kind of agree with a lot of that, but I really disagree with Tomi Lahren when it came to the whole thought thing. And I want to explain why. I don't want you guys to be just like dismissive offhand. Like, I have a reason for what I believe. So, well, like, firstly, I come from Europe, so we are a lot more comfortable with our sexuality in general. And I really think that from the ages of 18 to 25, you should be exploring your sexuality. You should find out who you are, what you want, all of that stuff before you get old and your body's failing, and before you have kids and everything gets messy and harder. Like, I feel like Tomi Lahren is like stunted in a lot of growth and development by not exploring those things more. Like, that is how I feel. Um and I feel like, the way she kind of dehumanized thoughts as well. I know she was just trying to prop herself up a little bit, but that seemed really like unfair as well, because every person that you meet has more going on than you realize, than the image they are projecting. Like, they could have overcome horrible abuse, they could be taking care of a sick mother, they could be an amazing friend, they could be a person who donates a lot to charity. It, like, you don't know. So like, it seemed very harsh and judgmental, a lot of the things she said. And like, I take everything she says with a grain of salt, because she's this kind of celebrity persona character. It's part of her image. Like, she's trying to be controversial, trying to get views, trying to make more money and all of that crap. So take it with a grain of salt. But that's how I feel, as someone who kind of fits in the middle of that weird spectrum of these kind of crazies on both sides, and someone who tries to be rational and developed. I think the sexuality is an important part of your development, along with all of those other things. So, like, to touch on the other things she said about pacification and stuff as well, like, as our society in general, we are super privileged in our societies, and we have so much access to everything, like with technology, with how wealthy we are. It's really easy to be a low standard person with low skills in our society right now. It's really easy. You like your whole thing could be I flip burgers and not know how to cook, and like it's just kind of crazy, because like throughout all history, like people had those skills, and then all of a sudden we don't have them, and it's just sometimes it feels like asking for very basic things feels like a lot, and it really sucks. So, but even worse than that though is just like the fact that you can't feel like you can say anything without like both sides of the internet like exploding at you in a huge drama over like differences of opinions. That's probably the hardest for me personally. But it is also difficult that people are low skills, low drive, all these other things, and honestly how depressed a lot of people are. Like, so I would tone down with the calling the men pussies and like the harshness of calling men trash and stuff as well, because a lot of young men have self-esteem issues and are suicidal and things like that as well. So like we have to realize that. But the pussification thing is part of our kind of societal problem, that people aren't developing as much as adults and growing up a lot because of the way that we kind of enable and protect them and like shelter them. So I think that's bad too. So like my advice, and like I'm a kind of spontaneous, fun person compared to a lot of these people, but like explore your sexuality, go travel, all of those things. I think they're important. I think you should try that, and I think you should try get out of your bubble and like listen to both sides and come to your opinion, like to develop as an individual. Because Tomi Lahren just feels like a carbon cutout of this like character persona, and I just honestly I'm so sick of seeing that, and I think that's part of why I wanted to make this video. So like on the SJW side, something that I kind of feel I need to bring up anyway is that men should be, how would you describe it, like emotionally available. So like, because on both sides, there's the protector provider thing, which I think makes sense, but I also want a man who can like talk about his feelings, because I think like as a functional adult you should be able to do that. And like if I come home from work from just a shit day where awful things have happened to me, where a bird shat on me, where I'm super hormonal, where I fight with a coworker, any kind of thing that could happen, I want to be able to like just be upset and have a shoulder to cry on, and someone to say, oh like I'm sorry that happened to you, like I understand your pain, I understand that that's a rude shit thing, and just acknowledge that. I don't think people realize how the way that we need to be validated and acknowledged as well by your partner is so important. And I think if you're able to kind of somehow figure all of that stuff out and find that reasonable person, I think that's the trick to a long, successful, healthy relationship. I haven't found that, so yeah, I can't say for sure, but I think that's true. If you can find someone who's like finds that good balance, and it's tough for everyone. It's tough for the men out there too. As a bisexual who's mostly raised by the dad who went to mixed schools, had a lot of male friends, I also understand how difficult it is for men, how difficult women can be. Like as I pointed out to Tomi, like about Tomi Lahren earlier, she seems a bit high maintenance. Some women like bitches be crazy, like the type of women who like you leave the toilet seat up and it just becomes a huge drama, and like life can be stressful and horrible enough without people like blowing shit out of proportion and creating drama, like especially nowadays with how divisive our cultures are and all this political war and stuff. It's just, oh my god, like it's just a minefield out there. So I don't know, I hopefully some people similar to me will be able to find this channel and be like, oh phew, I'm not the only one, and just relax out there and just feel supported. So I think that's part of what I'm aiming to do with the channel. A bit of a work in progress. This is my first video. We'll see how we go. I always appreciate feedback and everything else. So I'll just, see you guys in my next video.